Barney was watering the tomatoes? Now it's time to harvest them. Today on the farm, we have an important task, picking ripe, red tomatoes straight from the garden beds. But to do it right, we'll need a tractor, a wooden trailer, and some large, sturdy crates for the tomatoes. Barney climbs into his green tractor and heads off to work. Barney walked into the greenhouse, carrying an empty crate. He looked around at the plants full of ripe, red tomatoes and said with a smile,
"All right, let's get started. Time to pick these beautiful tomatoes."
There's a very important task on the farm. Just around the corner, danger is lurking. A bear is approaching the pasture. The cows are at risk. So a fence must be built quickly. The tractor gets to work because there's no time to waste. This kind of fence will effectively protect the cows from danger and keep them safe on the pasture. Thanks to it, they can stay on the farm without worry, even when a threat appears nearby.
Autumn has arrived on the farm. The fields are slowly changing colors, and the chilly mornings remind us that winter is getting closer. The last autumn preparations are underway around the farm before the first frost arrives. First, the remaining corn still standing in the field needs to be gathered after the long autumn days. The forage harvester slowly enters the rows and begins cutting the plants into small pieces. Right beside it, the tractor with a large trailer drives along, ready to catch every new load. This is one of the final chances to finish the harvest before winter arrives and to prepare the supplies for the coming months. Now it's time to bring in the last straw bales from the field. After the autumn work, only a few remain, but each one is important for the winter. The tractor slowly drives onto the field, lifting each bale and stacking it onto the trailer until it's filled to the top. This is one of the final steps in the farm's autumn preparations.
Farmer Barney was just checking the fuel level in his tractor when he suddenly heard a familiar moo.
What's going on?
He muttered, turning toward the road. And then he saw her. Toja the cow was slowly walking right through the middle of the farm, glancing around like she was looking for an adventure.
Toja, what are you doing?
Barney called out. Without a second thought, he jumped into the cab, started the engine, and drove after his curious companion. Toja, with what looked like a cheeky smile, picked up the pace, passing the barn and heading straight toward the carrot patch. As soon as he got close to the cow, Barney realized that without a special trailer, he wouldn't be able to get Toja back to the pen.
Well then, Toja, if you're done with your little stroll, let's take you back in comfort.
Then he turned the tractor around and drove to the barn to get the animal transport trailer.
Stage of work begins in the field. The green tractor slowly drives out of the barn. The workday is just getting started. A cultivator is waiting in the yard, ready to be attached to the machine. After a quick setup, the tractor heads toward the field, where it's time to start loosening the soil. This is the first step before the next planted season. Barney was watering the tomatoes? Now it's time to harvest them. Today on the farm, we have an important task, picking ripe red tomatoes straight from the garden beds. But to do it right, we'll need a tractor, a wooden trailer, and some large sturdy crates for the tomatoes. Barney climbs into his green tractor and heads off to work. Barney walked into the greenhouse, carrying an empty crate. He looked around at the plants full of ripe,
red tomatoes and said with a smile,
All right, let's get started. Time to pick these beautiful tomatoes.
Today on the farm, it's time to spread manure on the field. Barnage, the farm owner, has just assigned the task to his workers. Starting his day, Barnage walks toward the manure pile, passing by the cows peacefully grazing in the meadow. Along the way, he notices the pigs happily rooting in the mud. It's clear that everyone is ready for the work ahead, time to load the manure and prepare the field for the upcoming season. After a full day of work, the field is ready and the manure is spread evenly across the ground. Barnage and his workers finish their task, looking proudly at their work. It's time to return to the farm, where their work will help the land thrive and produce better yields in the coming season. And another challenge for Barney.
Every day looks the same, but there's always work to be done.
Before starting, he makes his usual inspection of the machines. He checks the tractors, tires, fuel, and oil levels. Everything must be ready. At the end of the row stands a powerful forage harvester, today's main task. Barney stops for a moment, looks at it, and says,
Today we'll see what this machine can really do.
Moments later, he heads out to work. Barney's worker steps in to help. His task is to attach a large trailer to the tractor, ready to collect the chopped corn from the field. He moves carefully, reverses precisely, and within moments everything is ready for work. The trailer is now completely loaded. It's time to unload. The chopped corn is transferred through the discharge pipe directly onto the silage pile. The machine runs steadily as the corn stream flows continuously. Everything works smoothly and without material loss. Stage of work begins in the field. The green tractor slowly drives out of the barn. The workday is just getting started. A cultivator is waiting in the yard, ready to be attached to the machine. After a quick setup, the tractor heads toward the field, where it's time to start loosening the soil. This is the first step before the next planting season.
Winter on the farm was beautiful, but also demanding. After heavy snowfall, vehicles and tractors that had set out across the river to get materials for work were stuck in deep snow. There was only one way to get them back: build a solid bridge over the river before the weather became even more severe.
One winter morning, the tractor that worked on the farm every day noticed something unusual. After a night of snow, snowdrifts covered the entire area, and the farm road was completely impassable. The tractor decided to face this challenge on its own.